Pamper yourself. This is one of my favourite stories about a pirate, and I read it at an eco village called Hog Acre Common in Oxford. Hog Acre Common. Pamper yourself. It's Massage Monday. Goodbye, said the parrot, still smelling stir-fry. I didn't look after my senses. The ocean sprayed a ghost into his view. Was it a siren? He nevertheless counted time and knew this was a spot of bother. Note diary. Difficult. He would miss her forever. I'm sorry. Peel open my leather chest. The gold is buried southwest. I am the naked pirate, and I sail with skull and crossbones due west. Only the crow can see me. I sail at night, I sail with thee, I sail with nought but the rum in my skin, tobacco up to my chin, and hanging smoked beef, chomped ale, and a gut full of sailors. Turn the page. Gut full of sailors' jibes about I not knowing the way home. Nay, said I, the silent type. I stamp my feet, I sway a while, I chomp my teeth, and grit my buckle big belly girth. Shorts. Audrey's the pirate, before he sailed the earth with his motley crew, had notions, had a wife, and was a clever thing. We all in the same boat now, Mr. Finn. Yes, said Tobacco, I meant to say Tobias, as he brushed his smoky, hairy black chin. Yes, he never looked back, and only the crew on the crow's nest of the galleon knew. He was captain of the Queen's ship. He was captain of the Queen's best ship. Top tails and bow to, you know. He never looked back, and he never ever turned the ship back. Over storms, over and over again. Where the wind took him, there he remained, never searching for more than his beery whiskers, froth, and the horizon, always out of reach, always. At what cost did he walk away or sail away? Many did ask. Sanctuary. Besotted, no stiff upper lip. Yeah. Once, in a very long time, the Medusa melts and sprinkles gold dust on the chosen one. The time has to be just right, and the chosen one has to sit tight for 5 minutes and be patient. Sam was the handsomest, strongest captain I had ever seen. His galleon fitted his swaggering swiftness and confidence to drive the wind, climb the cliff, and want you to work harder because we loved her, I mean him. Sam kept his sadness locked in his treasure chest under his bed. It never did show because it glowed with the gold glint in his beard and his gold tooth in every smile. He only loved one, but none of the shipmates knew that either. There was only one, his brother, his rival. They had fought and fought until the wind gave in. The mum drew a breath and wishes they would just give in. But to admit they missed each other would go a fight too far. Admit they had more similarities than mistakes would be a proud grin too far. The motto of the ship also pushed the heartstrings too far. Harp slurp and sand sang on when the seagulls salute, stop, spin around, and don't be shy to admire nature miracle. One day, the boat sang a happy song. The day rolled on and on. They captured a mermaid the night before the frozen star on her forehead thawed. She became human, and 1 year was actually one night. The captain looked around, and the sunset said in her mind, I think I shall stay. I think they need a hand. I like myself, I like my sea, I like my captain, he has a beautiful smile. The boat laughed and swept through the surf. The tornado hit, and the wave hit the bend just as Mary Seaweed swerved through the corridor and nearly fell. Sam stood firm and held her from falling. gallantry is truest in the gentlest of all sailors, and she felt herself falling in a different way, though. Right then, she couldn't say, but yes, he held her in his sapphire eyes, in his sunbeat eyes. She looked and he thawed his gold heart. His eyes flickered and he continued his hold. Damselfly cried, octopus lied, and Robin won the mastermind. Fallopian Cayley in the year of near misses began. It was the handsomest day in the year, moon skull year. 23025589. Well, these are years I will never see. Boats will be boats, love will still trip us up, and the wave hit the end. Sam stood in the moonlight and had found clarity in Mary's life. He decoded and decided, I must make her my wife. There were, of course, two problems to lament, because, one, I don't know, and B, I don't know till I go to the flow. The mermaid loved him with all her fishy heart, and he loved her, something like a sprinkling of something new, haloing the air. Something nice on the horizon, and something making him smile. Taking charge came easy, taking in this feeling. He wondered what was happening. He realised he was tidying his office, and this was a new thing. Fluffy new electrons of excitement seemed to flood in for about 5 minutes, and he got back to organising next week's work rota. They were following the eastern sky to Gibraltar, and had heard of Costa, but had never got there. Of course, they had tried coffee before, as they had been all the way to Arabic and back again. Arabic and back again. The galleon had cannons, and they hadn't fired them in years. He secretly feared the gears had gone rusty in the sea fog, as was the ghost of his tears. There had to be a remedy within his soul to realign the past, to structure the last salute of a valiant knight, and stop sailing away from the land and start again Newfoundland. The crow's nest on the vessel weaved through a low cloud as he peered up above the vessel. Of no time went over a line and into a void called black hole oblivion. Caught in the tornado swing, the G-force zoomed, nature fought and win. The whirlpool said, Octopus? Octopus, hold me tight, I'm scared of the world and all its plight. The octopus in my mind hugged me tight and swallowed me whole to my delight. Sam woke to realise the beam had knocked him on the head, and he awoke, and he was not dead. He had been in a coma for about a week. And who had been by his bedside all this time? Yes, his parrot. Mr. Nothing. Croak, croak, and devil's smoke. The parrot parody, the seam beam, the mermaid melody. He took a swig of shell tea and rum and looked around to see his chum. Hey, up and up she rises. The mermaid was doing great. The adjustment to being in the boat, she thought, was great, and she smiled and knew she loved him and her crew. She recovered her legs and stabilised her sandbanks, put her pearls on, and decided to snare the captain's heart. She flowed in and flashed her steady heart smile. Sam breathed in and looked sorrowful, dutiful, and showed nothing. Unperturbed, Mary swam down, not literally, to the antique marine nautical desk and set her compass due west. Basically, at his core, gorgeous hairy bronze chest with lapwings of gold curling around the layers of his black beard. He set his sails, rose, and left the room to chart the journey. As he left, he felt a layer of coldness around him. He couldn't explain this, though it was so obvious to us. He was mystified, enchanted, and his stature as captain didn't steer his true love so certain direction. He paused for a second, didn't look back. Galley up, Jack! Alley up the canvas, and ahoy there ahead in the gull's nest. Oi, oi, you gluttony sailors, let's be having you, he snarled at the rat pack. They also wouldn't know what to do if he suddenly spoke nice. It would unsettle them to think he'd gone soft. Oi, Cap'n, let's shake this town. Wake up the frost and shake the dawn. Let's go where we go in and never look back. Run, race rivers. Run, race the stars. Chase the dawn that sets in time. Before the lace on her frame is dyed yellow with time, while her bones don't show through her rock. Before the lace on her frame is dyed yellow with time, while her bones don't show through rock her free, set on flame, the wooden goddess at the front of the jetty, at the front of the boat, carved in wood and barnacles, turned and smiled the spirit of rust, freed gold, curling, crashing, the foam, tidal spray, smiling all the way. Here we go again, she thought, and put her head down to get them to dry land. She sped through the eye of the whirlpool, and with the salute of the clouds, the lost soldiers blessing their crossing and blowing the wind in their true course direction, fate and weight, and testing their destiny, she saw the trickery in her mind and put her thinking cap on, cut her hair. Not one crew noticed the new fellow on board, working twice as hard and not drinking rum, analysing the atmosphere, the mist. Mary was the breath of the wind, the current, the sea secretary. She never regained her full counterbalance after falling for the captain. He just kept shouting, and rugger up the rope, Jim, scrub on deck, Jack. She lit her candle, as she always found it funny to see fire so different from her water lair, and she wished she could take him there. It was sunrise. The girl woke up and flew away. Look out, thought, up above. It's not land on the horizon, it's worse than that. I saw that look in that captain's eye. I saw that look in the captain's eye as he walked by you last night. Mossy, they had nicknamed our merry mermaid, and now she looked more man than fish. She liked joggers and bayonet, long baggy canvas crew shirt, short hair, and grubby angular chin. The captain kicked himself and thought, what is it with this cabin team? It's going too smooth. We need more rum and less team bonding. We haven't had a fight for almost 10 nights. He flew his galleon window open, and the sea breeze blew his grin and smile. He blew his galleon window open, and the sea breeze blew his grin. The smile behind his beard lit up the moon's reflection, and the captain kicked himself again, but didn't understand why. He threw his treasure map up in the air, and the whales laughed about, the dolphins laughed, and the evil thought, this is going too well. Mossy hears the bang, and Clumsy still cried, what's up? He spun around. Mossy just admired his statuette frame and muscle bear style and halloumi pan-fried bit of bread. Mossy, what are you doing here? She picked up the map, and the vision appeared. It was as he feared, down the canyons of ever after end. He drew up another breath and yelled up the anchor, away, Jack! Stormed past Monkey, Mossy, and flat those cannons, Jack starward bound. Mossy heard the bang, and Clumsy still cried, what's up? Boom up, Mossy! At last I've got an order, she thought, and lightened her step. He rolled his eyes and fixed his gaze on the shelter in the sky, and the moon flicked his hair, and the earth thought, oh no, it's Captain Understatement, and they off to Never Ever Land. Do you know what happened last time? What? Said the voice. She is nice, that Mossy. Didn't that captain read that map right? Treasure is under his curled toenail. He knew that, and that was the float board where he kept his loot and lost gold. When he went to sleep in his chair that night, the parrot flew over, and he opened his heart. He said, after this voyage, I'm going to retire. They all have homes to go to, and I'm not their nanny. They all got to grow up. I can't do this in-charge act much longer. It's exhausting. Squawk! The parrot flew back and head down thought, yeah, it hit a nerve. I need a career change too. I'm done with counselling. Next time that window opens, I'm off. Mossy came to Hoover, this captain's office. Mossy came to hoover the captain's office again. "Faster," he snarled. "It's too late to be making all that noise." "He is so masterful," she sighed. Blackbeard beat his leather-clad waistcoat, sighed and took off his beard. "This is complicated." She looked at him and he looked at her. "Hang on. Are you him or her? And who is he? And who is who in here?" The moon looked happy tonight. Then there was a bang. The octopus had clambered aboard and was pulling the ship down while smiling that evil smile. Actually, he had a nice smile. It was just nature and boredom, and someone had to win. The force rocked the boat roared. The force rocked the boat and roared. No reared into panic. Mossy slipped and fell. The force rocked the boat and roared. No reared into panic. Mossy slipped and fell bigger now than when she landed on her tail. Beard caught her in his rugged arm, and she couldn't feel. She just swooned, as she did every night. Beard flew by and took the charge and raced outside, forgetting his, the beard. "All right, Captain," said Jack. "Shoot me some orders." Love struck, though he didn't know it. There must be some skullduggery in this plot. Jack saw his chance to excel in an emergency and pass his probation. "Lock 'em down, Jack. Get the artillery harpoon. We can eat for a year. Kill the flecker." Soaring through the air, the harpoon missed and knocked his right eye. Turning page, hang on. The harpoon missed and knocked his right eye out. "Oh, quick," thought Jack. "Why didn't I have more training? Blimey," thought Beard, "I really got to retire." Mossy came with the bandage and rescue remedy. She threw a tornado spin and barked at the octopus and nearly lost it. No, she lost it. She changed form and scales grew on the foam fountain torrent, and the sea moon stopped to admire the spectacle. The octopus didn't look back. Bigger, yes, and pink, but you can't fight the cannon of love exploding in love. The moon went back to hiding behind the clouds. She fell for shore into Blackbeard's strong arms, and he carried her to her four-poster bed and waited with marmalade on toast till she woke with a slight choke. She woke 80 years later, and the captain was still beside her. She opened her mossy, sap-filled glaucoma eyes. "Why didn't you tell me? It was just so lovely to be around you. And I had to focus on my career. I couldn't let it show." "Oh, and now?" "Well, I am still here, and the barnacles have enslaved me. I couldn't move from this chair, even if I wanted to. If I didn't die, I didn't need to try. Loving was easy, the time ran true. The blessings were in the sawdust of my not believing in anything. To say you captured my heart every day, to say I endangered my albatross, to see you grin, to see your love for me, Mossy, did mean everything. I couldn't ignore your kindness when I got hurt in the eye. I couldn't surrender to you there, but only on my moonbeam in the never afterland that we will find, 'cause it's in your mind. If I couldn't be yours," the captain was locked in his capability statement, and finding her heart locked his breath wavy away. She turned sad that now she couldn't hoover his deck. "She was on the hospital bed, aisle 4, and I honoured your heart, didn't I? I did love you back, I didn't lie. You breathed the moss green in my lichen frame, my achy bones just greased with the laughter of you never being on time. I did lap you up, Blackbeard. I loved being your crew for all the honesty you did ring true. You are the light in my lightening and the captain in my old age. Goodbye, true love. See you again on the treasure map I stood above. And I didn't look down, and I didn't look back, and I didn't look back, and I didn't give in. I gave my best, my old fin, my stable bolt, my love got in. I didn't look back, and I said with a grin, oil up the grease, Jack, tank up the cannons. Oil up the grease, Jack, tank up the cannons. I didn't look back. Goodbye, true love. See you again on the treasure map I stood above. I didn't look down, I didn't look back. I didn't look back, and I didn't give in. I gave my best, my old fin. My stable bolt, my love got in. I didn't look back, and I said with a grin, oil up the grease, Jack, tank up the cannons, fire, 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 fire. Rusty pegs shake loose. Fire. The end.